Welcome to the introductory episode to the Decode podcast. My name is Mike Goulis. I'm here with my co-host, Jeff Hackert.
Hey.
Hey to you as well, Jeff. We are two guys who work in the technology industry who are very excited to be entering the foray of podcasting. And we are starting with the book series of Dune. You can find us at patreon.com/decode podcast. I'll spell it out for you, www.patreon.com/decode podcast. We have some sponsorship tiers. We're going to have show notes. We're going to have additional information. We're hoping in the future to do things like live sort of Q&A sessions. If you're a podcast head like Jeff and I are, you know about those live Twitch streams or the live YouTube streams that people do. True Anon for Means Lightbringer if you're into the whole A Song of Ice and Fire stuff. So you know about the live Q&As on Sunday. We're looking to do all kinds of stuff like that. I'll say it one more time, patreon.com/decode podcast. When we talk about decoding, we're decoding, going deep into the world of space opera. And like I said, we're starting with Dune, probably because a really huge movie is going to be coming out late next year about the book Dune. And we figured this book's been on our radar. We love it. We want to talk about it. No better time than to try to get in on the action now. And Jeff's got some comments about space opera in general that he'd like to do.
Yeah, also there's a TV show coming as well, right? The
right,
Sisterhood focused on the Bene Gesserit. So there's also the release of the graphic novels for Dune. So a lot of Dune content is going to be out in the world over the next few months to a few years. So no time like the present to dig in, right?
Yeah.
And space opera is my favorite genre. There's just so much going on. Great big epic quests, big worlds, large time spans, so much to think about. And Dune is really an exemplar of that genre. So very excited to dig in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we are going to be doing spoilers for the first 3 books of the Dune series. These are pretty well, I mean, I've heard people referencing the God Emperor of Dune, which is actually the 4th book. I've heard people referencing the God Emperor of Dune since, I don't even know, 1996. That book was published in like 1984, but I digress. My point is, these are really well-known stories, so spoilers are going to be on. We're going to assume everyone has read these books and is familiar, but we are going to be going chapter by chapter, starting with the first Dune book. Due to the publication history of it, it actually is 3 books within one. You don't see that in the other Dune books, but we're going to be starting with Dune, the book, and we're going to be starting with the first book, which is also called Dune. So that's a little confusing. Our next episode, we're hoping to tackle pages 1 through 253. It could be a lot to do in one episode, but hopefully everyone is thinking that we're doing a great job and we're having a great time. So extending that out a couple episodes is no problem. What we're looking to cover with Dune, there are 6 books written by Frank Herbert before he passed, and then his son took up the mantle and published 2 more. And then he went on to publish many more on top of that.
Yep.
What we're going to be promising our audience is we're going to at least cover the first 3 books of Dune, which is Dune, Dune Messiah, and Children of Dune. From there, we might pivot to Foundation. That's kind of what Jeff was talking about. There's a lot of space opera series out there, but we're going to cover at least the first 3 books in the Dune series. So next episode, be prepared for us to go hopefully through pages 1 through 253 in my Penguin edition.
Exactly. The Ace Penguin edition.
Yeah.
They've got the really fancy titles, or sorry, the really fancy covers.
Yeah.
And none of the books are shaped the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're reading a different book, all the publication history indicates that there's 3 different books. So the first book is just simply called Dune. So you'll know when you've hit the right spot.
Yeah. Maybe a quick note to people who like to consume books through audio.
Yeah.
One thing I found challenging and a little bit frustrating is that the audio versions of these books focus very heavily on the character interactions, but not always full direct readings of the books themselves. So you gotta watch that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
So, like we said, patreon.com/decode podcast. I've already said it a couple times. And you can find us wherever you find podcasts. Obviously, you're listening to this somehow. So you heard us on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. We're going to be on all of them. This was just intended to be a quick, breezy episode and prepare you, the audience, for a synopsis we put together of Dune Book 1, and we're going to jump right there next week. See you then.